I want you to look at both of your hands. Like, actually study your hands. The back of your hands, the front of your hands, your fingers, your lines, your nails. Look carefully at your hands. And if you observe carefully, that when you look at your hands, you do not have any judgment of your hands. That my fingers are fat, or that there's a hair there, or a cut there, or why are my fingers short? What is the benefit of being the only physiological male at an all-women's retreat? There's no line for the bathroom. Correct? Now, when you wait in the line to go to the bathroom, and I wait, and you wash your hands, do you give preference to certain fingers? Do you wash your thumb more because it's stronger? Do you warm your baby finger less because it's shorter? You don't judge your hands. You don't have a preference for one hand over the other hand or the fingers. Now I want you to imagine that same bhava, that same feeling you have towards your hands, towards the people at your table. That she's a finger and she's a finger. How about everyone here? That this is one hand. Your family, your friends, acquaintances, strangers. You do it with your hands. This word your, why can't it be your family, your friends, your acquaintances? And I'm using the word imagine, but that's a wrong word. A better word is visualize. Because imagine is like fiction. Visualize is like non-fiction. Because what I'm sharing with all of you is the truth. That the people next to you are fingers, we are all a hand. All people are a body. You add in animals and plants. This is what Sanatana Dharma is. Sanatana Dharma. Dharma means integration or integrated. Sanatana means endless. That space separates our bodies. But this vision is that we are one. And I'm sharing that this is the truth. Believing otherwise is a lie. In Sanskrit we use the word Maya, which is an illusion, a falsity, a phantom. To understand our connectedness, we have certain instruction manuals which we call Upanishads. Another name for this is Jnana-kanda, or that portion of our scriptures that focuses on knowledge, vision, understanding. And for this retreat, we are going to take up select shlokas or select verses of Ishavasya Upanishad. This is the first Upanishad, or one of the first Upanishads that are taught in our residential Vedanta courses through Chinmaya mission. Because this is like the table of contents. This is what all of the scriptures are trying to guide us to. How many of you have studied Ishavasya Upanishad before? How many of you have heard of this term, Ishavasya? How many of you know how to spell Ishavasya? I'm going to pick up on the word Upanishad first, and then I'll get into the vision of this Upanishad. Upanishad is made up of 3 bases. The first is Upa. Upa means near. Near. Ni means below. So near and below. And Shad means sit. Sit near and below. Sit near and below who? Someone who will give you food. Someone who will give you money. Someone who will give you this knowledge, this vision, this understanding. And to receive that, we have to be open. Just like a water bottle. If I go to the tap and I go in with this lid closed and try to put water in here, it'll spill over, correct? Even if this is open but this is full, the water still spills over. This has to be empty. And this is why in our tradition, a student, someone who wants to learn, always sits near and below. Because that physical respect helps mental receptivity. The more you respect, the more you receive. Now if you go to Western now, and this is how it was in business school, where did the professors speak from? Where did the students sit? I pay your salary. I'll sleep if I want to. See, how much can you receive if that feeling of respect is not there? We are going to take up this Upanishad. And the focus of this Upanishad is Ishavasya. Isha means God. Isha means Bhagavan. Vasya means to live in, or to be clothed by. So what this Upanishad is teaching is that God lives in all of us. We are all clothed by Bhagavan. And if you can just tune into the title of this instruction manual, finished. What else is there to do other than to know that all are divine, all are one? There is no other purpose of living. Is it to be popular on Snapchat? Is it to have many kids? Is it to organize a lot of events? It is to know that you're divine and that others are divine. That's what will make us peaceful. And there's a specific word that's used to understand the opposite of that. Ishavasya. So we'll take up the first shloka. Now you don't have this text. It's heavy. The book is heavy, the content is heavier. So I'm going to share some select verses that highlight our theme of, what is the theme of this retreat? Being the bigger person, not physically. Being the bigger person in our heads, in our hearts. And if you can become the biggest person, don't you become Ishavasya? Doesn't everyone live inside of you? Don't you clothe everyone? Please chant after me, if you can. Not just hum along, listen carefully. Ishavasyam idagam sarvam.
Ishavasyam idagam sarvam.
Yat kincha jagatyam jagat.
Yat kincha jagatam jagat.
Tena tyaktena punjitaha.
Tena tyaktena punjitaha.
Ma gridaf kasya swidhanam.
Ma gridaf kasya swidhanam.
This is what this means in English. Isha-vasyam idagam sarva. God is living in or clothing idam. Idam means this and sarva means that. So right at the beginning, the infinite, Bhagavan God, it doesn't matter what word you use, is living in this and living in that, which really means living in all. Yat kincha jagatyam jagata, more specifically, is living in all that is in the universe and the universe itself. So as an example, it would be like saying that God is the water and the water bottle. So everything inside and outside. This applies to you also. Everything inside of you, everything outside. Tena tyaktena bunjitaha. Knowing that, tyaktena, give up what is not yours. Bunjitaha, and enjoy what remains. Enjoy what is given back to you. Ma ghada kasya swidhanam. Never covet, desire, focus on another's wealth or look at another person's grass. Where's the grass the greenest? Where you water it. See how beautifully that comes out. That was copied from this shloka. Focus on your life. Don't focus on other people's lives. So this is the English meaning. The way I'm going to try to explain this is give you the highest meaning. This is the meaning that is conveyed in the Vedanta course. This is for enlightenment and enlightenment only. This is the absolute message. I will come to a relative message. What does it mean for us Devis? If that's the end, tell us what the means are. And finally, I will finish with a tactile message. What you can do today, right now. So I go to the absolute message. All of this is the clothing of God. You know, it didn't snow a lot this winter. But imagine there was fresh snowfall, 2 inches, or 5 centimeters. Then it's like the snow is the clothing of the trees, and the cars, and your driveway, and your roof, and if you're outside, you too, no? So now try to visualize the same as there is divinity that is covering all of us outside, that is illuminating all of us inside. And I keep using the word visualize, see, because those are words used in our Vaishya. How many of you think, and we've seen each other a lot, how many of you think I look younger with a mustache? How many of you think I look younger without a mustache? Who's right and who's wrong? Sheila, my wife is right or wrong. Right. But you see, that classic saying of beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Age is in the eye of the beholder too. You have siblings, and someone doesn't know them. You ask, who's older between the two? And the older sibling feels so happy, yes. The younger sibling is so offended by that. See, we do use vision. Sight is the same. Mustache or no mustache. Everyone's seeing it. But what is your vision behind it? So don't tell me you can't do this. You can do this. You do this. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. At an absolute level, this means infinity is inclusive of what? All. What numbers are exclusive of infinity? What countries are exclusive of infinity? You can build walls all you want, or try to build walls all you want, but you'll still be part of the world, correct? The world will still be part of the solar system. Even if the world shrinks, you know, if all of us pass away, the world will still be part of the solar system. That infinity is inclusive of all. That means your husbands. You may think otherwise. But Yat Kincha means whoever. Your in-laws, who you claim to be enemies. All are inclusive of that. You just can't see them because we're using our eyes. This Upanishad is trying to teach us to use our intellect, to go past sight. Tena tyatena bhunjitaha. What is this? What is the name of this? Self. What shape is this? Okay. If I break this, what is the name of this? Self. What is the shape of this? Two rectangles or an ocean, correct? My nephew has come from New Jersey this morning. He's here for a week now. And I remember it was his 6th birthday party. We went to Boston Pizza in Niagara Falls. And everyone gave him gifts, but most people just gave him envelopes with money inside. So we were at home and he was opening up the gifts. 6 years old, okay? So there's the envelope that's sealed. He loved opening the envelope, right? You rip that open. He would open the card and he couldn't read so well and he doesn't even know who gave him the card anyways. So the envelope he would fold and put in his pocket. The card he would put over there and the money he would kind of just like direct to his mother, my sister. And I said, what are you doing? You know, that's your gift and you're keeping the envelope. He said, I can't write on that, I can write on this. Great, the card he can't write on. The money's already graffitied to him. But that envelope is where he can write. See, for him, his focus on names and forms is different than my sister's focus on names and forms, correct? Tena tyatena. Tyatena means to stop focusing on forms and names. Everyone's forms are different. Everyone's names are different, but those forms and names are dependent on, you can call that existence, you can call that God. See, when I lifted up my phone, did any of you recognize the existence? People are looking, wow, that's a really old phone. People are looking, oh, such a dirty phone. But this is existence, you know? The existence doesn't depend on the form and name. The form and name depends on the existence. What our Rishi, our teacher, is saying is stop focusing on the forms and names because they are dependent. You should bunjitaha, enjoy the independence. Enjoy the independence. Because it's always there. Ma grida kasya swindhanam. Don't be shallow. You know what the word gridaha means? A vulture. It means covet, but it also means a vulture. What kind of food does a vulture eat? Other people's food, correct? Always looking at where there's prey, what will happen to that prey. It's like some, what do they call them? Not criminal lawyers, what do they call them? Personal injury lawyers. Like some, you know, you see on TV. They're waiting for an accident to happen. So here, what the Rishi is saying is, let us not be vultures. In other words, let us not focus on the shallow aspect of someone. Let's go into their independence. So that's at an absolute level. Let's go to a relative level. Okay, for us, babies. How can this become more real for us? I want you to pause and I want you to think about the 3 happiest experiences of your life. Close your eyes. And think of the 3 happiest experiences or periods of your life. Think deeply, who was there, what was happening. Now I want you to do the same with sorrow. Think about the 3 most sorrowful periods of your life. Who was there, what was happening. Okay, open your eyes. The happiest periods of your life, what were they? If you would like to share. You don't look very happy.
My childhood,
Childhood.
when I got into college.
Got into college.
Again, better, I think it was always an achievement.
Okay. You know what's sad about your sharing is that was decades ago. We were happy 20 years ago, but since then. And what about your most sorrowful periods of life? What was happening?
When I lost my father.
Lost my father. And
People are growing away from you when you're not quite so needed.
people are growing away from you. I think that the greatest joys in your life came from people, whether it's your parents being proud of you, siblings, birth of a child. And the greatest sorrows are the same people. Same parents, same siblings, same child. Yes? Nobody can frustrate you like your spouse. I'm not projecting, I'm extrapolating what you experience. Nobody can disappoint you like a child. Yes? You see, those people, and I just highlighted spouse and kids. You take any relationship. It is not the relationship that causes joy or sorrow. Because if our parents were the source of joy, they would always give us joy. But that's not the case. You ask a high school student about how much joy their parents give them. It is our contact with that relationship. It is our contact with that relationship. You take a stove. If you don't have a stove in your home, it's hard to cook. That same stove can burn your house down, though, if used carelessly. So it's not the stove, it is our relationship with the stove. It's our relationship with people. And that's what our Rishi is trying to teach us here, is that all people are a different name and a different form of a divine source. That the people around us are important. They're specifically around us and not around the next person. To have this vision, to have this understanding that that person is in your life for you. And if they leave your life, it's because you don't need them anymore. Whether that's death or divorce or just growing up. Our friends change. This vision, this understanding helps us to be more virtuous with people. I'll give you an example. I was interacting with someone yesterday, and they were telling me that their mother is very depressed. Not depressed, very depressed. And I didn't know that. I've known this lady for a long time, but I just came to known her from a distance, but I just came to know that she suffers from significant depression. And that vision, that understanding of this is why she may have made this career choice, why she treats her kids like this, etc., etc., etc. My relationship with her, even though I've not talked to her since then, has completely changed. Because now I have more understanding of, at a distance, what she's going through. No? See how it makes such a difference that the people in your life are supposed to be in your life. The word we would use in Sanskrit is prasad. What does prasad mean? That which delights. When we interact with people, our families, I want you to remember to forget and focus. Forget and focus. Forget here means forget about their weaknesses. Focus on their strengths. See, it says tena tyaktena bunjitaha. Tyaktena is, why focus on the negative? Bunjitaha means enjoy. Focus on their strengths. Everybody has strengths. Everybody has weaknesses. What are you looking at? When you focus on someone's weakness, how does your relationship grow with that person? You get repulsed from them. That person is so lazy. That person is so greedy. That person is so judgmental. But that same person may be persistent. That same person may be committed. Whatever it may be. If you focus on that, what's your relationship with them? Changes totally. So when you interact with people, what is it that you're focusing on? And if you do focus on strengths, it will be easy to forget those weaknesses. But if you focus on the weaknesses, it'll be very hard to. It'll be easy to forget those strengths. You even take loss of a loved one. We can focus on the fact that they're not in our life anymore, or we can focus on all of the memories that we had with them. It's totally up to us. So that's what the Rishi is saying here is, all people, their nature is divine. So go past the shallow part of their form and name and focus on that divinity. And the expression of divinity is strengths. That every person has a strength. In many of our classes, I've shared that you should only work for God. That you should treat your ultimate employer as Bhagwan. And if Bhagwan is the ultimate employer, then who are the people around you? The employees of God, no? Do you have a right to criticize one of those employees when you're not the employer? Do you have the right to dismiss an employee of God? All of us are employees. We have to work for the ultimate, for the highest. And here, the Rishi says, Ma grida kasya swindhanam, that you shouldn't desire other people's wealth. You shouldn't be trying to live other people's lives. You can take dhanam here to mean opportunity. Instead of focusing on other people's opportunities, whose opportunity should you focus on? Your own opportunity. The people around you are in your life to train you. To train you. If your spouse can frustrate you, what is he or she actually trying to train you in? Frustration, is that what you just said? What are they trying to train you in? Patience. What else?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Give me one more virtue.
Love.
Love. If your child can disappoint you, what are they trying to train you in?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Good. Love again. Detachment, acceptance. And we can keep going on and on and on. They have been sent by the boss to train you. And you can't say to the boss, I already know all of this. If you're saying that, more training is needed. And remember, if they've come to train you, what is your relationship with them?
To train them.
You're there to train them, but don't go in on your training. To remember that they're in training. Yesterday I was at the bank, and the lady I was conversing with, she was a trainee, and her trainer was with her. And so she was slow, right? She didn't know what codes to put in or where to go. And that other lady, I really liked her, that she was so patient with her. And she's in training, so why would I be temperamental about that? She's in training. So our spouse is in training. Our children are in training. Our friends are in training. Everybody's in training. Doesn't that make us more of a team? More of a family that we're all in training? Swami Tejamayana says, the road to perfection is always under construction. Always under construction. And you think, not my road. Yes, your road also. It's like people who say, you know, my most significant weakness is my humility. I'm too humble. Another way to look at this word dhana. See, if you interpret dhana literally, it means wealth. Don't covet other people's wealth. And if you're rich, you probably don't. But what does that do for your life? At a deeper level, it's saying don't covet other people's opportunities. Your opportunity is your opportunity. Another way to look at this word dhana is expectation. Don't have expectations of others. How many people here don't have expectations of their family? How's that working out for you? See, we keep learning again and again and again. Try not to have expectations, but we keep having expectations. And how do we know that? You know you have expectations if you're rattled, if things are out of your control. Now, are you in control? We're not in control of the weather or the traffic or our prime minister or how our hair looks, leave alone our mind. And the next shloka we'll talk about, what is the opposite of expectation? Acceptance. So here's your tactile point, okay? From an absolute level, what is being shared here simply is that all is divine. Let go of that part which is dependent, be independent. From a relative level, what is being shared here is that focus on people's strengths. When you focus on people's strengths, what will happen is that you will realize they are training you, and we become more accepting of them. And the tactile point is, I'm going to give you 4 words for each shloka. From thoughts to togetherness. From thoughts, that's what we're doing right now. We should shift to togetherness. From thoughts to togetherness. I'll elaborate. When you walked into this community center, what were you thinking? Tell me honestly what you were thinking.
I love the orange flag. You could see it right at the end of the street.
Okay, I love the orange flag. Someone else was definitely saying, why is there a flag here? Keep going. What else were you thinking? What's for lunch? I'm really surprised she's here right now. I have to sit with her at this table. I don't think she combed her hair this morning. What is he doing here right now? This is supposed to be a women's retreat. What's he doing? See, what happens is when we come to a place, judgment begins. Judgments, I'm using as the word thoughts, our opinions, our past history, our projections. They're thoughts. And those thoughts always separate us. That's what I'm saying, from thoughts to togetherness. Togetherness is change those thoughts to focus on what unites us. And someone mentioned japa. Today I posted a rad that said, a flower does not think about competing with nearby flowers. When you look in the garden, a flower doesn't think about competing with nearby flowers. Flowers just bloom. They focus on their own growth, their own development. But once you start thinking about another person, judgment kicks in. What comes with judgment? What's the next emotion? Jealousy. And where does jealousy finally settle? Insecurity. Don't we all have an insecurity? Insecurities. And if you think about it, why did it come? Because I'm jealous. Why did jealousy come? Because I'm judging. I'm thinking about what separates us instead of what unites us. So whenever you have those opinions, do japa, chant that which makes the thoughts quiet. And I'll tell you what you should chant too, if you're open to this. You should chant Jai Hanumana Jnana Guna Sagar. Jai means importance, prioritization to Hanuman, to the divine, who is filled with knowledge and virtues. Sagar means an ocean of knowledge and virtues. We all know that line. Hanumanji will be our devata at our ashram. So let's get connected to them. So if you're sitting across from your person in your table right now, you're sitting like this, or bindi. She doesn't know how to wear a bindi, or she's so distracted right now, and we're sitting, with this pride. See how nice that is? See, the thoughts are coming, and you're focusing on that which is shallow. So chant, Jai Hanuman Jnana Gunasagar, Jai Hanuman Jnana Gunasagar. Your thoughts change. And as you think, so you are, so you become. Your thoughts are powerful. Pay attention to them. Everyone caught the first shloka? We'll take up one more. If you didn't, and I know you all caught it. I'm not judging you. If you didn't, there's another shloka, another verse that helps to clarify the first, okay? But I really hope you get the second one. Because you know what happens in the third. We're not going to study the third. But the Rishi says, here's the message. Here's an elaboration on the message. If you don't get this, you're going to hell. In shloka 3, what the Rishi says is that if you are unable to practice this vision, what will be miserable? Who causes you the most misery? We do. Don't think it's another person. We give permission to another person to cause us misery, but you don't have to give them permission. If you're on your way to sleeping right now as I'm speaking, and I say, you're such a loser. But if you're sleeping, that doesn't matter, right? But if you're paying attention deeply and I say you're such a loser, just as an example, see how it makes such a difference. In one case, you did not give permission, so keep sleeping. In another case, you gave permission, so I'm offended by that. You have to take responsibility for your life. Shloka 2. Kurvanneveha karmani Jijivisheshatagam samaha Evam tvai nanyate thosti Na karma lipyate nare. In English, kurva, do. Eva, alone, iha, here. Karma. So you should do. What should you do? What was just talked about? You should do that now. You should do that here. Eva and iha. Jiji vishe shatagam samaha. And how long should you do this? What does shata mean? For 100 years, you should do this. That's why we give blessings to people. May you live 100 years. That's come from this message. That may you be someone who's practicing for 100 years. Evam tvai na anyata. There is no other path. Other than practicing what was taught, there is no other path. Na karma lipyate nare. And if you practice this for 100 years, because there's no other choice, you will be free. Let's take this at an absolute level. When is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When is the best time to invest in Apple? 20 years ago, right? That was the best time to invest in Apple. When is the next best time to plant a tree?
Now.
When is the next best time to invest in London? Now. You'll see what happens next year and the year after. You'll be lucky if you own property right now. And if you're trying to buy a property in the next little while, one will get burned. See how I can incorporate that into the shloka? We have to practice all that we are learning here and now. Place and time, space and time is right here. In Ramayana, Raja Dashatha tells his Kulaguru, Rishi Vashishta, please tell me when is the right place, space, and time for Lord Rama to become the next king. Rishi Vashishta, the guide in their family, tells the king, when Lord Rama becomes the king, that will be the right space and time. In one line, that dialogue happens, and if you miss it, then what happens is we keep waiting. I'm waiting for summer to begin, then I'll be patient. It's too cold to be patient right now. I'm waiting till my kids leave the house. Then your grandkids will be on the way. Then you'll wait for them, you'll be gone before they're gone. But for a guy, Rishi Vashishta says, right here, right now is the space and time. I don't know if we have time to do this today, but an exercise I wanted to do with all of you, we'll do this next year, is I wanted you to collect some wood, small twigs, and I wanted you to keep that in your pocket or purse or in your hand and carry it for the next 8 hours. Why? Because eventually you're going to be boxed in that wood or burned in that wood. You're all thinking, whoa. But isn't that the truth? Eventually we will be boxed in a coffin made up of wood and put in the ground, or we will be burned on a pyre that's made of that. So us waiting is us forgetting about the presence of wood in our lives. What else does this shloka say? That we should desire to live 100 years. This 100 years is symbolic for being steady. And when you're steady, what comes with it? Sincerity. Steadiness and sincerity. If you work at a corporation for 25 years, what do you get?
A watch.
Maybe a plaque. You know, they're awarding you for your steadiness, hoping that that steadiness will create sincerity. But that sincerity only comes with a pension, doesn't it? With unemployment insurance and so on and so forth. Here, the steadiness is to create sincerity. That's what's mentioned by 100 years. Now, if we think in our lives, what are you committed to? Give me some directions or activities in your life that you are committed to, that you are steady with. Go. Not everyone rush to share what you're steady with. I'll start. Sleeping, eating, continue. Children, yes. Self-development, yes. Finished. There's not a lot that we're so steady with. We are steady towards the environment until it becomes too hard to compost, to recycle. We are steady with our in-laws until we're tired. And it becomes too hard, so we're steady with giving if it's small amounts. When it comes to big amounts, that's too much. See how that 100 years is a very important message. Steadiness leads to sincerity. This is why in high school, you don't have boyfriends and girlfriends. You ask them, do you want to be steady? You want to be steady? See, they're smart. They use the correct language. And they're smart because once you go to university, you may be in a different university. Long distance, a long-distance relationship is a real gauge of sincerity. As long as it's convenient, then it's not so real, isn't it? I don't know why I'm asking all of you. None of you know what I'm talking about right now. They all had arranged marriages. So we should practice here and now. How should we practice being steady and sincere, and there's no other choice. What other choices are there? It's like interacting with people. Do you have any other choice other than to accept a person? Do you have any other choice than to accept the weather? I once had a mother and a son in a class, and this mother worries a lot. None of you worry a lot about like that. She does. So I told her, you sit beside your son, and I want everyone else to just close their eyes and be quiet. And I said, for 2 minutes, I want you to worry about your son. Just sit there and worry. And after those 2 minutes, I asked the son, so how do you feel? Annoyed. He wasn't more protected. He wasn't any wiser. She felt a burden. He felt a burden. The ego makes us think we have more choices than we do. Swami Tejamananda says, in life, you either get what you expected or what you didn't expect. And if you expected it, you should have been prepared, so why are you crying? And if you didn't expect it, you couldn't have been prepared, so why are you crying? So in either case, why are you crying? There is no other choice. Having no choice makes us free. Contrary to a worldly way of thinking, it makes us free. Suppose instead of lunch coming here, we all went to a fancy Thai restaurant. And they have 10 curries instead of 3. Not just red, green, and yellow. There's also red, green, yellow, green. You know, all of these combinations. Then there's purple rice, and brown rice, and white purple rice, and so on and so forth, right? You pick up the menu, and I'll just close it and surrender. Just order for me, please. Because there's so much choice, I don't know what to do. But when you don't have a choice, here's what you can have. If you're hungry, you eat, and if you're not hungry, you don't eat, no? I read a report at the Harvard Business Review that talked about when you buy things from a store with a return policy, and you buy things from a store without a return policy. Where was there more satisfaction with the purchase? No return policy. Because you have no choice but to be satisfied with it. But if you can return it, as you're sitting in the car, oh, I should have got the red one. No. Here, the Rishi, the seer, so thoughtfully shares, there is no other choice. Be free. So now I come to a relative level. Okay, this is our means. There was a great thinker whose name was Sri Ramana. And Sri Ramana identified with divinity only. He spent years in this small cave in a southern state in India. I got to visit his ashram. I stayed there. I contemplated in that cave. It is small. It is humid. And he spent years there. And in this ashram, in this monastery, there was like a room, and there's a long couch. And when he would wake up, he would come to this couch, and he would literally, imagine my legs are over there, he would look over there with his eyes closed and his head on his chin, just like this, and be like that for hours and days and weeks and months and years and decades. And people from around the world came to him because he radiated peace. And people would come with their problems, with their confusions. And they would vocalize this to him, saying, this problem is in my life, I'm confused about this. And when they would vocalize this to him, he would lift his head off his chin, lift his head off his hand, and just look. Lift his head off his chin. He just separate his head like this. He would just look at the person with the problem or confusion, and that problem and confusion would be totally purged. And that person would just sit there in peace also. And if that person's problem or confusion was deeper, he would only say one statement what was the statement he would say?
Who's that?
Who are you? Who are you? And he's not asking, where did you come from? What's your bank account like? Tell us your gotra. Tell us your lineage. Who cares who your gotra is? What your lineage is? Who are you? What are you identifying with? That's what his question was, more deeply. And where were those problems and confusions? At the surface. In the mind. But those problems and confusions were not the person. When you're feeling very anxious, what do you do? What do you do when you're feeling anxious? What are your strategies? Count to 10, breathe. That didn't work, keep going. Chant, okay, good answer. Pray, also good answer. Clean, also good. Sleep. We go to sleep, no? We try to go to sleep. So you drink yogi tea. Yogi tea. Yogi tea helps you sleep. You can't be a yogi, so just drink the tea. So you drink yogi tea, you take a melatonin pill, you put, waves in the background. And then you sleep, and where did the anxiety go? The mind is dormant, so is the anxiety. But as soon as that alarm clock goes off, that anxiety is compounded, correct? It's back even more fiercely. My point here is when Sri Ramana says, who are you? He's saying those problems and confusions are not you. And Swami Chinmaya would share a similar message when people came with their problems and confusions. Sri Ramana's message was, who are you? 3 words. Swami Chinmayananda's was even shorter. It was 2 words because he knows 3 words is too hard for us to digest. What were his 2 words? You change. My coworker is such a problem. You change. It's too cold outside. You change. That was his message. You change. And isn't that what the Rishi is saying? That right here, right now, with steadiness and sincerity, your only choice is you change. Another way Swami Chinmaya would say this is, do your best and leave the rest. When you do your best, what other choices do you have? So you are free. Acharya Vilasaniji was sharing, and you'll meet her next year, for those who have not met her. She said when husbands get married, they hope, they pray that their wives never change. When wives get married to their husbands, they hope and pray that they change right here, right now. And see how blind both people are. The husband doesn't want the wife to change. She's going to change right away. The wife doesn't want the husband to change. He's going to change if he wants to change. Isn't it? But even after decades, we still go in. You can't change your husband. I can change my husband. How's that going for you? See that you can't make another person change. It's only you change. And here, when the Rishi says to be steady and sincere for 100 years, what he's sharing at a relative level, he or she, okay? Gender is not specified here. Rishi means seer. Someone who uses their intellect, not their eyes. What? I'll say she, since we're in a baby retreat. What she says here is apply yourself. Apply yourself means use the equipment to go deeper into who you are. Use the body instead of being used by the body. When you use the mind, it's called thinking. When the mind uses you, it's called worrying or thoughts. We have thoughts when we're not purposeful, but when we're purposeful, it's called thinking, right? Swami Chinmaya released a book, it was called Think. Part 2 came out, it was called Think Again. use these equipments. This is what it means to be steady and sincere, that whatever these equipments are, the body, the breath, the mind, the intellect, use these towards self-development. Use these to become stronger. That's what you change me. See, if you have a stronger mind and someone criticizes you, are you affected by it? But if you have a weak mind and someone criticizes you, you just keep thinking about it and thinking about it. It's like a child with a scab, right? I want to see if it's healed, so they scratch it open. No, it didn't get healed. So then it has to grow again, then they scratch it again. But someone who's mature, and I'm not saying adult, someone who's mature, they let that wound heal. So that skin grows on it again. To become stronger. It is most natural when we become stronger to become accepting. The stronger you are, the more you accept. The weaker you are, the less we accept. You have to work to become accepting. You have to work to become accepting. See, some teachers will say, forgive. Is forgiveness that easy? Don't you have to train yourself to forgive? Other people, hippies, they say, live in the moment. I use a very complex planner, and then someone will look at my planner and say, no spontaneity, no fun. What do you do with your life? I live in the moment, man. So you're unhappy now and unhappy tomorrow, and you're unhappy after that. See, even to live in the moment requires a lot of training to change your relationship with the past and future, correct? That's where we are now. You have to train yourself to live in the moment. When we change ourselves, we make our equipments stronger, accepting space, time, matter, accepting articles, being, circumstances becomes one natural to us. And there is no other choice but to accept. To accept the weather, to accept your body, and on and on. And acceptance, as I mentioned, is the opposite of expectation. Because you're making yourself stronger, you're making yourself more content. And the more content you are, you don't need other people to make you happy. I was thinking about the movie Inside Out as I was driving here. Have you all seen the movie Inside Out?
Yes.
Lovely movie. What are the 5 emotions in Inside Out? Joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. If you've not made yourself stronger, when you interact with people and you tell them, the message is you change, so you point to people, you change, and they don't, your first instinct is to feel sad. I'm asking this person to change, but they're not changing, so you feel sad. But the more responsible you become, it goes from sadness to anger. You're not sad for that person, you're angry at that person. Sadness is worse. Sadness causes much more destruction than anger did in the movie Inside Out. So you feel sad. More evolved is you feel angry. More evolved than that, if someone is, you're telling them not to change and they're not changing, what happens? What's the next emotion? Fear. Please change. This is for your benefit. More than that, more evolution is disgust. Like you're wasting your time. Chi. Chi is an emotion that means dirty. In some South Indian wedding cards, how did they describe that to male? But they put chi, right? Chiranjeevi means may you live forever, but they write chi, which means disgust. Just be careful about such acronyms, then more evolved than that is joy. I tell you to change, and if you don't change, I'm still happy. I tell you to change, you don't change, I'm sad. I tell you to change, you don't change, anger. I tell you to change, you don't change, fear for you. I tell you to change, you don't change, disgust, like, hey, don't waste your time. I tell you to change, you don't change, joy. But see how you had to go through all of that to finally get to joy. Did you ever think of Inside Out like that? With adults, you cannot teach them. You cannot teach an adult. And here adult I'm specifying as family, friends, those who are close to you. True or false? You cannot teach them. But what do you keep trying to do? I'm going to teach them a lesson. It doesn't work. With my wife, Sheila, then, there's certain behaviors she has that don't fit in with me, and I have lots of behaviors that don't fit in with her. And so sometimes I try to teach her. And I'm putting huge conditions on this, okay? That's me not following my own message, or the Rishi's message. I try to teach her, such as, for a long time she didn't put the toothpaste cap on the toothpaste. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Why wouldn't you put the toothpaste cap? You took it off. Well, I have to use it again. Why make your bed? Why shower? You have to shower again too, correct? So what I would do is I would start taking that cap and put it on her pillow. So she would see, So that worked, because it was a toothpaste cap. But now onto more large matters, like it's about timeliness or shopping and so on. And I'll come up with my tactics. Like it's a war, I'll out-strategize you. And she tells me, I'm an adult. Why are you treating me like a child? And she's so right. And she totally puts me in my place, that who am I to teach her? And that's so beautiful, because really she's teaching me. And I share that because in that moment I am receptive. Generally I'm not, but in that moment I am receptive to her telling that you're right. Just like all of you, I'm not saying that you can't be taught. You are receptive, that's why you're here. But generally, you can't teach an adult with words. You can teach an adult with actions. That's what this shloka is talking about. Practice here and now, or lead for how long? Till you die or they die. Full life. 100 years means full life. Some people, their timelines, they learn fast. Stubborn people, they take longer. Some seeds grow fast, some seeds take longer. But you have to keep on practicing. And the more receptive they become, the less you have to lead by actions, the more you can lead by words. See, kids, they learn more by their ears and less by their eyes. But then we grow up. Which really means our egos become more manifest. Then we listen, we learn less with our ears and more with our eyes. But the more evolved you are, the more you learn by your ears, and you don't need your eyes. And that's why I mentioned many times in our classes the need for a what? Sadguru. You need a Sadguru who you have a relationship with, who can teach your eyes. And once you grow up, where you don't need that logic anymore, faith comes in, you don't need your eyes, you can just use your ears. See how beautiful that is? And that's why, in our tradition, we start with kids. Because we can just use words. So here too, when we talk about you change, number one is accept. But you have to train yourself to do that. And if acceptance is too difficult, then you need to show their eyes, and slowly their ears will understand also. Here is your tactile point. Your tactile point for the shloka. What was your tactile message from the prior shloka? From thoughts to togetherness. Thoughts keep us separate. Togetherness is, let me focus on strengths. Your tactile point here is from granted to greatness. From granted to greatness. How many of you can relate to the statement, you feel like you're being taken for granted? Can I see your hands? This week you felt like you were being taken for granted. Put your hands up. There is a natural instinct to feel like we're being taken for granted. And I'm using the word instinct and not intention. Instinct is, I'm comparing. It's like workplace disparity. There's only disparity if you know how much another person is getting paid, correct? There's only disparity if you see how much another person is working. But if you work in a box and another person works in a box, can there be workplace disparity? See how it connects to the first shloka, no thoughts. So there's only togetherness. We feel we're being taken for granted when we're looking around with our eyes. That I spend so much time with the kids, I do so much for the house, you just do this. And we always use the word just. I spend so much time getting to know your family, and you just get to know me. We have this instinct to feel we're being taken for granted. And if you feel that, you are being taken for granted. But who's suffering in that? You're suffering. And if you stop feeling like you're being taken for granted, what happens? You're not being taken for granted. And who suffers in that? They do. The other person, I didn't mean that jokingly. You're all thinking perfect. But see how logical this is. My wife is 8 months pregnant, and that baby just keeps on kicking her again and again and again. Like all day he kicks her. He, she, we believe it's a male, kicking hard. She can't sleep sometimes because of that. Does she get mad and kick it back? Stop taking me for granted. Do you know what I do for you? Give me some respect. She just gives and gives and gives happily. Yes? Now, suppose another person just keeps kicking you. The person next to you, they keep kicking you. Right? One time you look at them smilingly, next time you look at them not smiling. Third time you pretend to cross your legs, but you kick them. But you feel that. Now for those who have traveled on a train in Bharat, in India. In India, there's a lot of persons and very little personal space. I had a friend who came to visit me when I had finished studying in India. And we were in a Mumbai train station, going to the Ajanta and Ellora caves in Aurangabad. And I warned him. He's born in Niagara Falls. He's half Italian, half Jewish. So he has that background. He's never been to India. All he knows about India is me. I warned him. I said, just go with the flow. And he and I have traveled together to Thailand, to Turkey, to Cyprus, all over the place. And when we walked from the bridge to the platform, I thought he was going to have a panic attack. He's a grown man. I was holding his hand. Caressing his head. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. And then the train came and more people came. The police were blowing their whistle. He didn't know what was going on. I said, don't worry, Eulogy, the people will put you on that train. It's like a mosh pit, you know, you just let surrender, har har mane. You arrive onto that train. And when he got and he experienced all this and everything was good. But you see, nobody felt like, oh, you're in my personal space. I can smell your breath or your body odor. And everybody has their breath and body odor. But nobody felt like they were being taken for granted. If you feel like you're being taken for granted, you are. And if you're not feeling like you're being taken for granted, you're not. Again, the power comes back to you change. And why I'm saying from granted to greatness, that whenever you do feel like you're being taken for granted, think, not thoughts, but think of those who are great. And see how much they do karma. How steady, how sincere, how without expectations they live. Sometimes, like I was just in Morgantown, West Virginia, and I was telling them about my itinerary. They were overwhelmed by how much I traveled. And I thought immediately when they said that, I was thinking about Swami Tejumaya. That if my itinerary is intense, his itinerary is exponentially more intense, and he's always ready. He's always cheerful. And I know he doesn't feel like he's being taken for granted. So what ego do I have to say that you're taking me for granted? Think of greatness. And our homes, you know, our families, they naturally evolve into their own fortes. It's an assembly line. In our home, Sheila cooks, I clean. And which takes longer? The cleaning part does take longer. And when I'm cleaning sometimes, you know, I'm sweeping or moving stuff, she can't, and I always think, you know, I do so much, I travel so much, and then I have to come home and do so much. Then all that happens is a thought comes, she's 8 months pregnant. And immediately, that feeling goes away. Immediately. As quick as the thought comes, so quickly the thought goes. And that's what I'm sharing with you, that this works. You just have to be a thinker instead of a thoughter. A thoughter gets pushed around by this equipment. The thinker uses the equipment. Okay? At an absolute level, the Rishi is saying, practice here and now, steadily and sincerely, because you have no other choice, so be free. At a relative level, you change by applying development to your equipment, and you will naturally feel more joyous. And the tactile point is from granted to greatness. And to wrap up, Swami Chinmaya shared that you should have a goal in your life that you never reach. You should have goals in your life that you never reach, that you never accomplish. Very contrary to business school, no? You should have measurables. And then when you achieve that goal, what happens? Now what? So you work, now what? Fall. But if you have a goal that you never reach, you just keep working and working and working, and the best in you comes out. How to keep working. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna tells Prince Arjuna, depersonalization is the secret to inspiration. Depersonalization is the secret to inspiration. As long as you take things personally, what will happen? You'll be pushed around. The world will own you. But once you depersonalize, the world will not push you around. When you depersonalize, you develop more energy. It's not about you. You become stronger. It's not about your family either. You just become bigger. Our theme is being the bigger person This is how. Have this aspiration. Be inspired. You will have the energy and the strength to say you're sorry even when you are right. To adapt to a person who's being immature, and on and on and on. That's what it means to be the bigger person. Like Bhagavati Lakshmi does. This is a picture of the goddess of wealth. What do people ask of her? They don't ask, they beg. And she's still smiling, no? She's the biggest person to deal with all of us immature kids. Begging, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? And she keeps smiling.